Good evening, everyone. Namaskar. A very warm welcome to all of you. This evening, we'll be having a session with Umakant Nadkar ji. Many of us already know him. I'll put him on spotlight. Good evening, Umakant sir. Still, I would like to introduce him to all of you. I would like to give you a short introduction about Umakant sir. By profession, he is a management professional. He's been active in social and development sector for a decade and a half. He's contributed wholeheartedly for many social causes like health and education for more than 10 years. He's an active trustee for an NGO called Shubha Lahiri Pratishthan, and he's a founder of Veda, which stands for Vedic Education and Development Association. He calls himself a student of meditation. He's also a teacher of meditation. And today he would be speaking, or he'll be giving a talk about Reiki meditation. So over to you, Umakant sir. Please unmute yourself.
Sorry. Thank you, Anita ji. Thank you so much for this kind introduction again. Probably just let me know if my voice is not very clear or probably it's a little low. Just interrupt me. So thank you again for having me here. I think this is the second time I am getting this opportunity to be on this platform, to interact with you really fine people who are so much kind-hearted and so much willing to connect to the great divine energy. So today, as Anita ji just introduced, the topic of the day is Reiki. And I'll begin very briefly with sharing my journey. How did it exactly started? And then let's explore the light of the divine energy called Reiki itself. We will go through a lot of stuff today. It would be kind of introduction, but it may touch to a lot of very important elements for understanding Reiki as a concept, as a phenomenon, which has transformed my life, to be very honest. So it basically all started for me. It all started when I was in my college during my graduation days. I was pretty much into. I wanted to learn, get into spirituality. I wanted to understand how a Guru Shishya Parampara really looks like. Fortunately, I read a lot of books, but that did not give me real experience. And I was a lot curious to understand what really spirituality means. And this is where a very dear friend of mine, his name is Abhijit. So he was a Reiki practitioner, and he was a third level Reiki practitioner then. And he was a journalist. He was a photo journalist. He was a freelance writer itself. Generally, he used to write columns for different articles, Dainiks there. And he had come to our college for one of the events wherein I felt there is some connection, that probably I have a soul to soul connection, right? This happens, right? When you meet few people, there is, even when we meet professionally, we feel it's an intellectual connection, but there are few people in your life when you meet, there is a reason why you meet them. And then when you meet them, you realize there is some soul level connection. There is something which is deeper than what you think. Probably it may not be directly deeper with the person that we are talking to, but there is some other reason which is quite deep, profound, that connects you to for what is going to happen or what is going to come on your plate in the coming time. So this is exactly what happened with me as well. So we had a very long conversation. We connected on a lot of topics because it was all intellectual for me then. There was no experience. Even today I have no experience, that is for sure. But whatever little, because my mentor, my teacher, my guru, he always tells one thing: there is no one without zero experience. With zero experience, I mean, there is no one without any kind of experience. Never say that you don't know anything. You will never know everything, but this is one fact. But the second fact is also very true, that you will not know nothing. You will always know something. So that's something, probably a 0.1% of, or a drop in the ocean, is something I've come here to share with you all. And maybe our journey may go ahead from here as well. So this is where we had a lot of conversations, long conversations, and not just one day conversations, multiple day conversations, wherein I shared my interest of learning meditation, because somewhere deep in my heart I wanted to learn meditation, what meditation really gives, what does the guru really mean, what is spirituality. I had no experience. I had only read about it. And he said, I think you should come and meet my teacher. His name is Pramod Kulkarni sir. I don't know, many of you might have attended his sessions as well. He's a Swara yogi. And but then he has, I think 7 8 years back, he has started teaching Swara yoga. Okay, he's a very disciplined master per se. And 33 years of Swara yoga experience, I would like to tell him, because every time I speak about him, it's something which fills my heart. Because 33, more than 35 years of experience, but he never taught people around only until 7 8 years back, because he said, I still need to learn, I still need to learn. And he was learning when he himself had established himself as a yogi. And my friend, my dear friend, said, let's meet him, let's talk to him once. Okay, I have no problem. But I was kind of skeptical. वो होता है ना, कॉलेज डेज में यू आर वेरी स्केप्टिकल. यू डोंट नो एग्जैक्टली क्या है, सच है, झूठ है. कभी ऐसी किसी डिवाइन पर्सनालिटी को आप मिले नहीं हो, ये होता है हमारे साथ में. तो आई वॉज वेरी वेरी स्केप्टिकल देन. एंड but somewhere deep in my heart I said, chalo, let's see. I asked him, I am hearing this, लेकिन does it lead to enlightenment? वो एक अलग तरीके की excitement होती है. We're like, हाँ, no, we need, I mean, today we have read something, tomorrow we want to be enlightened. So that, I think that happens with all of us. And I asked, does it lead there? So he was like, at least you meet him once, and then probably you will realize, if you feel it's good, let's continue. So we used to have in Thane, we used to have every Thursday 6:30. We used to have these Samudayik Prarthanas, and I went there once. And the day I saw him, I fell in love with him. So very evidently, I fell in love with him. I just couldn't move my eyes from him. And when I bowed down to him, something happened, and he said, you need to learn Reiki, you should learn Reiki. This is where my journey of learning Reiki started. I learned Reiki level 1. And then just a few months down the line, I started developing this intense desire that I should spread this light, because there was so much amount of experience that I was getting. Rather than experience, I would say there was so much amount of happiness which I was feeling deep inside me, so much amount of energy that I was feeling inside me. I thought I should give it out. He realized it. I didn't need to tell him anything. I realized it. And then he realized it. So just a few Thursdays later, when we met again, he said, you need to learn how to teach Reiki. So I'll teach you to learn to teach Reiki. That is where I got the attainment for becoming a grandmaster. And my journey of learning, teaching, and learning through teaching began there. And it has been uninterrupted till now. And this is where we are meeting to understand what Reiki really is, and how it has, not just how it has transformed my life, probably how it might also transform lives of people around as well. So one of the myths that I have often seen, and this is kind of a misconception that I have heard a lot about Reiki when I have spoken to people around, those who know, those who do not know completely, that Reiki is something which is purely alien to the Indian tradition, which is not right. It is not. The word might be little alien to the tradition or culture or the history of India, but this is where exactly my teacher told me that in Atharva Veda, it is very clearly mentioned that by the touch of my palm and by the way of my speech, I can heal people. मी माझ्या तळ हाताच्या स्पर्शाने, आय एम टेलिंग दिस इन मराठी बिकॉज दिस वॉज हाव आय वॉज टोल्ड, तळ हाताच्या स्पर्शाने आणि वाणीच्या उच्चाराने मी रोग्याचं दुखणं बरं करू शकतो. आय कॅन हील पीपल. अँड आय डिडंट नो व्हॉट एक्झॅक्टली दिस रिअली मीन्स. सो this is how the journey actually unfolded later on. But there is a lot we can really discuss about Reiki out here. So this is where Reiki has its roots as tradition in India, and so it happened that traditionally, historically, there were so many practices. We call everything falls under a gamut called yoga, right? But there were so many practices which have unfortunately lost in time. And it so happened that a Buddhist monk in the name of Mikao Usui, who in 1860s, 1816, 1890s around, who happened through his intense austerity, happened to rediscover certain elements, to rediscover the science of Reiki, which is, if we understand and try to learn and understand Reiki, it's very, very, like, the goal is very much similar to what yoga really is. We will understand this when we move forward. This is where Mikao Usui, I won't share the exact history how this really happened, how Mikao Usui came up with his knowledge of Reiki, but this is how Reiki in Japan came up, wherein from Japan he had his disciple who moved to US, and there was this is female disciple spread Reiki in the US, and from US it came back to India. So this is how the journey of Reiki has been. You know, I always say this. I mean, it's very funny in the Indian context, because whatever is Indian doesn't come to us unless and until it comes from US. So this is exactly what has happened with Reiki also. So Reiki from Japan, from India, went back to Japan. And it is very evident, okay? It is not just because we are India and Indian culture is very close to our heart. It is documented that Mikao Usui learned Reiki and practices which he practiced and learned later on, and realized through Buddhist monks and other rishis who were existing in Tibet and the northern region of India. And then he went back. So that's how the lineage of Reiki actually started. So Reiki, when I say, of course, it's a Japanese word. But when it is even if it is a Japanese word, the meaning of it is universal, because the word itself inherently means universal life force energy. So Reiki is universal life force energy. So if I translate it, giving it our cultural context, so what is Reiki? Reiki is Chaitanya Urja. Reiki is that Prana Shakti which is flowing within me. The day I was born, I got connected with Reiki, right? Is it possible that probably 10 days or 1 month or 1 year down the line, then the connection happens? We often feel that this divine connection happens when we meet a guru, or probably when we get into a traditional path. No, it's impossible. The divine connection is always there. It is there the day you are born, right? It is there the day you are born. Without it, it cannot happen, right? Because the divine, what we call in yoga, what we call it Sat, Chit, and Anand. You know? So that Sat is truth, Chit is the consciousness, and Anand is the happiness, the bliss, the infinite, unending bliss that we get is connected to us right from the birth itself. It doesn't come when we meet the guru. But then what happens when we meet a teacher? Then what does happen when some tradition, some technique comes to us? We realize that we have it. that is what really happens. We realize that we always had it. We realize that we can use it. So this is what Reiki is again all about as well. So Reiki is life force energy. Reiki is that Chaitanya Urja, which is a technique of healing through meditation. Okay, this is a technique of healing through meditation. Now, let's understand what does healing through meditation really mean. Like, Can someone just, probably you can drop in chat, or maybe you want to unmute and say, what is meditation for you? What is meditation for you? You can unmute and say, I think. Concentrating, going within, connecting with yourself. Alpaji is saying, okay, okay.
बाह्य मनाकडून अंतर्मनाकडे जाणं, म्हणजे बाह्य जगातून अंतर्मनाकडे येणे.
बाह्य मनाकडून अंतर्मनाकडे. ठीक आहे, ओके. आउटवर्ड जर्नी टुवर्ड्स इनवर्ड जर्नी. ओके, ठीक आहे, ठीक आहे. Any other?
I think it's for me, it's any activity where I enjoy myself.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Activity ही अशी क्रिया आहे जिथे मी स्वतःला विसरतो. That is meditation for me. म्हणजे it could be बागकाम. म्हणजे त्या बागकाम करताना I'm just not myself.
विसर पडतो. ठीक आहे, ओके.
समतेमध्ये राहणं म्हणजे मेडिटेशन. बेसिकली इट इज अ डेफिनेशन की तुम्ही काही करता, जेव्हा स्वयंपाक करता, कुठलीही गोष्ट जेव्हा करता, तेव्हा तुम्ही त्या गोष्टीवर फुल कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन जेव्हा करता, दॅट इज अ मेडिटेशन.
स्थितप्रज्ञ होण्याचा प्रयत्न करणे,
होण्याचा
प्रयत्न करणे, स्थितप्रज्ञ होऊ शकणे,
प्रयत्न करणे म्हणजे मेडिटेशन. ठीक आहे,
दॅट इज ऑल्सो वन डेफिनेशन.
ओके, ओके, ठीक आहे. अजून कोणाला अजून काही शेअर करायचं? Anyone want to share anything?
वेगवेगळ्या टाईपच्या मेडिटेशन आहे, चॅन्टिंग आहे. एव्हरीथिंग मेडिटेशन इज टेकिंग द एनर्जी, युनिव्हर्सल एनर्जी, दॅट्स इट. कारण रेकी मध्ये तुम्ही चक्र हिलिंग करता. सो प्रत्येक जेव्हा मेडिटेशन तुम्ही करता त्यावेळेस तुम्हाला कळत नसेल, पण यू फील आफ्टर दॅट व्हेरी एनर्जेटिक. तो म्हणजे कुठेतरी ते एनर्जी ऑल्सो वर्किंग.
ठीक आहे, ओके. मला इकडे अजून एक उत्तर दिलं, शून्य विचार क्रिया असं एक कोणीतरी दिलेलं आहे त्याच्यामध्ये. ठीक आहे, फाईन. सो अ व्हेरी सिम्पल डेफिनेशन, ओके, अ व्हेरी सिम्पल डेफिनेशन ऑफ मेडिटेशन. हे मला माझ्या टीचरने सांगितलं आहे, माझ्या मेंटरने सांगितलेलं आहे मला. द डिस्टन्स बिटवीन टू थॉट्स इज मेडिटेशन. दोन विचारांमधलं अंतर म्हणजे ध्यान. याचा अर्थ जर आपण समजून घेण्याचा प्रयत्न केला ना, तर हा खूप प्रोफाउंड अर्थ आहे हा का. म्हणजे आपल्याला 2 शब्द किंवा 3 शब्द दिसतील याच्यामध्ये. वी माइट फील इट्स जस्ट अ स्टेटमेंट, बट इट इज अ व्हेरी प्रोफाउंड स्टेटमेंट that is here. The distance between two thoughts is meditation, which means that I think we all know this, since I feel we are all practitioners, some or the other sadhana we have been doing. So we know that every minute it is said that every minute a human has around 60,000 thoughts. 60,000 विचार. म्हणजे मला प्रश्न हा पडतो की एका सेकंडामध्ये जेव्हा मला विचार येत आहेत तेव्हा it doesn't come just one after the other. It comes in bundles to me. And our brain has that capacity that we catch one of the thought and then give importance to that thought. We act on that thought and then something else comes. Back of the mind, there are 10,000 thoughts which are running. You know? We are aware, we are not aware, but it's happening. Right now, when you're listening to me, you are feeling you are just listening to me. But there are 10,000 thoughts which are coming out of that black box, continuously coming out of that black box. And there is no gap between two thoughts. It is very difficult to have that gap between two thoughts. And if you are able to reach that gap, if you are able to touch that point wherein there is no thought, which is the gap, which is a very infinitesimal gap, okay? See, infinite is a very funny term. I always find it funny. It can be as small as possible, it can be as large as possible. Right? तो कितीही छोटा असू शकतो आणि तो कितीही मोठा असू शकतो आणि कितीही छोटा असलं तरी स्टिल इट इज इन्फायनाइट. ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदम. व्हॉट डज इट से? ते आपल्याला सांगतं की शून्यातून शून्य काढलं तरी शून्य राहतात. बरोबर, राईट? सो इवन Zero is a part of infinity itself. So the point where we reach that place where there is no thought. कोणीतरी इकडे उत्तर दिलं होतं, शून्य विचार क्रिया. तरी त्याच्यात एक क्रिया आली, the word क्रिया came in. But a place where there is no thought is meditation. Meditation is no practice. One, meditation is no action. Meditation is a state of mind where nothing is happening. It's still. It stands still. There is no, म्हणजे आपण कदाचित योगामध्ये असे म्हणू शकतो चित्तवृत्ती निरोध ही जी अवस्था आहे आपली, इथे चित्ताला कोणत्याही प्रकारचा there is no vibration, there is no modification in the chitta, and there is no thought process at all, is what is meditation. आपण 1 मिनिट फक्त प्रयत्न करणार आहोत. ओके, वी विल जस्ट ट्राय दिस फॉर अ मिनिट. वी आर नॉट ट्राइंग टू मेडिटेट. जस्ट आपण तिथे अजून येतच नाही आहोत. आय एम सेइंग लेट्स सी इफ इट इज पॉसिबल फॉर अस टू नॉट थिंक. ओके, I always remember that monkey story. Tell yourself don't think and you will think. Right? So let's not tell not to think, but let us try if it is possible for us not to think. आपण काय करूया? 1 minute. Let us just close our eyes. Okay? And let us observe what is coming in our minds. And does it stop? Anywhere, at any point of time. Okay? So let's begin this. Close your eyes, in whatever form you are. Whether you're sitting on a chair, it's okay. You're standing, that is also okay. Meditation has no posture. Posture adds value, of course. Posture is advantage, but it has no. What is it? Just come out. You're not part of the thought. You're not part of the thought. You are different from the thought. तुमच्या विचारांपासून अलिप्त आहात, वेगळे आहात. And becoming different, you are observing your thought just as a witness. Don't try to intervene. Don't try to interfere. You are no one to interfere with the process. You only have the right to separate yourself. Just observe. Just witness. Become aware of your surroundings. Feel the air around you. Feel, realize the voice, the sound. Become aware of the surrounding and slowly open your eyes. Slowly open your eyes. We can open our eyes now. How many thoughts? How many thoughts? We weren't part of the thought, right? I hope we weren't part of the thought. We were something different. Lots. Okay. Let us decide. I don't want the thought now. Let's decide. I don't want the thought. नहीं, मुझे सोचना ही नहीं है. Numerous. Okay. Sangeeta ji is saying numerous. And we cannot even count that numerous. Okay. सोचना ही नहीं है. नहीं, मुझे नहीं सोचना. Let's decide this नहीं सोचना. Is it possible by just determining I don't want to think, I cannot think? Okay. Anyone who felt there was no thought at any point of time, maybe. If you did not feel it, it is good, because this was not a meditation. Any one of you could stop your thought? No, that is not possible. You cannot do it, right? So this is where I'm not saying Reiki is the only technique which does that. But what Reiki teaches us, Reiki is one of those techniques. There are numerous techniques which bring us to a point wherein you can come to a place, you can come to a state of mind wherein there is just no thought. And so simply you reach to that very state, ki just closing your eyes, of course with practice, just closing your eyes, you come to a state that there is no thought. No thought is not a practice. Okay, no thought is an experience. And someone, I feel, now we are connecting, we will try to understand what Reiki really does when we start learning Reiki. Someone said it is all about energy. Okay, first thing is meditation is not concentration. Okay, meditation is not concentrating upon something, some subject, some object, or something. No. Meditation is getting into a state of mind of nothing. But then what happens? This is a very simple physical science. Okay. If there is a jar or a bottle full of water, yeah, full of water, and then there is a bottle without water, मतलब water छोड़ उसमें air भी नहीं है, not even air. And I connect with a pipe, a very airtight pipe of a bottle which is full of water to a bottle which is vacuum. ठीक है, air भी नहीं है, I'm saying air, ether वगैरह इतना, let's not go there, where there is not even air. Okay, I've sucked out of air. Physics has proved this. क्या होता है? Water, if there is vacuum, it automatically starts sucking energy. Sorry, it starts sucking water from the bottle which is full to the bottle which is empty. This is exactly what happens in meditation. And this is what happens with Reiki. Reiki brings you to a state of mind where you have become zero. See, if you, many of you might be in a Guru Shishya Parampara, right? And you are a student of spirituality. The only remedy of life is becoming nothing. The only remedy that a Guru tells is become nothing, that you are nothing. So Reiki helps you to reach that state where you are nothing, you are zero. आप कुछ भी नहीं हो. And what happens then? The moment you become zero, the moment you become nothing, through that meditative state of mind, you open yourself, you open the doors to infinity, to infinite consciousness. Chit, Sat, Chit, Anand. You open yourself automatically. You don't have to try. आपको कोशिश नहीं करनी है उसके लिए. You don't have to try. You cannot try and pull energy. You cannot try and say, I want this energy, I will do something and I will pull it. I'll very push myself to something, become something and pull it. No, we cannot do that. We have to become zero. We have to become meditative. This is exactly what happens when you become meditative. You open the doors of energy and you start filling. And someone said you have 7 chakras. Reiki is all about chakras. So that chakra starts filling. So what is chakra? Chakra is, very simply speaking, your mobile phone has a battery, right? A human, and it has 1 battery. A human being has 7 batteries. As simple as that. I cannot work without a battery. Okay? Lekin I am so complex that I cannot function on 1 battery. Let's accept human system is complex. It is not a simple system. A mobile is a very simple machine. It can work on 1 battery. I need 7 batteries, and unless and until I charge those 7 batteries, I cannot work tomorrow, right? What happens when you sleep? What happens when you sleep? When you sleep, you automatically get into a state for some time in the interim, in between. Not the entire 8 or 6 hours of your sleep, but sometime in the interim, you keep on getting into the state where you are rejuvenating yourself, right? Whenever you sleep and come back, you feel fresh. I say, हाँ, मैं बहुत थक गया हूँ. I need energy. I am losing energy. I see, but sir, but we will come to question answer. Okay, just give me 10-15 minutes and then I will try to solve all your doubts. Okay, we will get there. Let me complete. When you wake up, you are fresh, which means that sleep is a natural process of receiving energy. But what if you have a technique wherein wherever you sit, you can just have a simple method of pulling and charging your 7 chakras. As simple as that. Okay. So, मतलब क्या है रेकी सच में सीखने की जरूरत है क्या? I always counter argue this because let's think from the perspective कि रेकी सीखने की जरूरत नहीं है because we all are born divine. I'm connected to energy. Without energy, I cannot speak. We all speak, right? We all speak, we all see, we all eat. Eating gives me energy. So why do I need separate energy? Eating is enough for me. Lekin eating gives me energy to my physical body, right? There are 3 bodies. And if I talk in the yogic stance, there are 5 kosh. है ना? 5 kosh होते हैं हमारे. I'll come to that later in 2-3 minutes. I have 3 bodies: physical body, subtle body and causal body. है ना? हमारे 3 bodies होते हैं ना? Food gives me energy to my physical body, to my Annamaya Kosh. It enhances, it nourishes my Annamaya Kosh. It supports my mind. I'm not saying it doesn't support my mind because my mind gets energy from the food, much part. But a large chunk of this energy is actually universal life force energy, which we are getting through breathing. A simple process of breathing. And we are pulling that energy, pulling that consciousness without knowing that we are doing it. Right? It is that simple. But what Reiki does, Reiki helps you to attune. Now, when I use the word attune, I'll tell you why attune. There is a process of attunement in Reiki. When if you decide to learn, we attune you. Why attune is simple. I'll give you a very simple example. Okay, I'm alive. I haven't learned probably any spiritual process. I'm living. I'm eating food. Everything is happening. But imagine this with a very simple example of मेरे घर पे एक रेडियो है, okay, और मैंने बटन ऑन कर दिया. Will the song starts singing it? Will the radio start singing itself on itself just because I switched on the plug? No. पुराने radios जो होते थे ना, we will know that. What we have to do? Even today, FM अगर सुनना है तो we adjust the hertz, right? We adjust the knob. And what we do, we tune the machine to the energy, to the microwave, to the sound wave, and then it starts singing. So is our life. If you tune yourself to that life force energy, your body starts singing and dancing on the rhythm of that energy. So it's like a wave. You start feeling that wave. You start feeling that energy, and that energy, the moment you be with it, it's purely feminine because energy itself is a feminine form of the feminine dimension of the existence itself, right? So there is an attunement process wherein you learn to tune yourself, and once you are tuned to it, every day when you practice it, you keep on enhancing your tuning to the energy, and you stay tuned to the energy. And this tuning, when I say tuning in our tradition, this is as same as yoga, becoming one with the divine. The divine speaks through energy. The divine speaks through consciousness. The divine speaks through prana, chaitanya, which means the divine speaks through Reiki. So Reiki is that same energy which is an instrument, is the speech of the divine itself. So that is what Reiki is all about. And so Reiki kya hai? I was just talking about, I'll just take 2-3 minutes and then we will get into the question answers here. जो कुछ सवाल है, because there are a lot of misconceptions also. There is one very important misconception which I want to solve out here before we get into anything else also. But Reiki is something, 5 कोश होते हैं ना हमारे इसमें सिस्टम में. There are 5 कोश: अन्नमय कोश, प्राणमय कोश, मनोमय कोश, ज्ञानमय कोश, आनंदमय कोश. तो Reiki is functional. 5 पंच प्राण, जो 5 वायु है हमारे, तो it helps in balancing those because it is directly connected with the system of our chakra, and it helps in balancing those 5 prana, and it helps in enhancing our overall energy to a point wherein Reiki practitioners can also heal. Now I'm coming to the point of healing through meditation. Until now, I'm just talking about energy and meditation. So what is healing? Disease. Healing का opposite क्या है? Disease. What is disease? Moving away from ease. Okay, right? Moving away from ease is disease. Doctors कहते हैं, I don't say this. Doctors say moving away from ease. What does it mean moving away from ease? There are 2 scientific explanations of moving away from ease. One explanation is when you get into an unnatural state of the system. I'm not saying state of the body only, and not just state of the mind only. When you get in an unnatural state, which is a disaligned state, you become diseased. You don't feel that ease or flow. See, कुछ ऐसे दिन होते हैं ना, when you are like free flowing. आप चल रहे हो, बोल रहे हो, people say, अरे क्या charm है, अरे क्या glow है. Like there is charm in the way this person walks, this person speaks, this person acts. Who is acting? The energy is flowing through. That's free. That is free flowing. It's flowing through you. You don't, probably you're unconscious, or probably maybe you're consciously also doing that because you are practicing few sadhanas. You are flowing. You yourself become flowing, and the moment you become one with the energy, you yourself become flowing. You are not still. You are not your earth element anymore. You are water element. You are that energy element. You become that consciousness, right? You yourself become that consciousness. So that is. So what I'm trying to do here is, if I keep on explaining the experiences of Reiki, probably I'll need hours more to do about it. But the point is, we have to experience it. It is we who have to really do it. So that is what Reiki is all about. But coming back to one thing, there are so many things which we can talk, but I think we are limited on time, and we also need to take some questions. There is one very important, which is very critical. There are many misconceptions, but one very important misconception which I recently came. This Mumbai में एक अटैक हुआ था. मुंबई में एक टेररिस्ट अटैक हुआ था ताज वगैरह पे. We remember this, right? It was a very like transforming time for us. And people were saying, I don't know how many of you have heard about this, because क्या हुआ था वहां पे टेररिस्ट लोगों ने जाने के पहले रेकी की थी, and they did Reiki, and then they did whatever they have to do. Now this one very thing is very important. Okay, because I come from a management background, I realized that people often use the word Reiki in their everyday terminologies. So this Reiki, which I am talking about, the topic of today is REIKI. Okay, and Reiki in management is RECCE. तो न्यूज में क्या आया? न्यूज में आया कि रेकी इज प्लानिंग. मतलब अगर मुझे कोई इवेंट करना है, तो अगर कोई ग्राउंड है, तो वो ग्राउंड कितना बड़ा है, वहां पे कितने झाड़ है, कुछ गिराने हैं क्या, वहां पे कोई इज देयर अ स्ट्रक्चर आई वांट टू लाइक कोलैप्स और बिल्ड. दैट प्लानिंग इन मैनेजमेंट इज RECCE रेकी. It is pronounced the same. But what people started realizing that terrorists can also use Reiki for understanding and then using it for other purposes. That is one very huge misconception. I want to clear it out. I speak this to every person when I talk about Reiki. अगर वो दिमाग में है तो उसको निकाल दो. Well, second thing is, people say there is white Reiki and there is black Reiki. I have never come across black Reiki or white Reiki in my life, because there is, see, for a Reiki practitioner, there is no positive and negative energy. There is energy. You tune to that energy, and whatever you try to do, you will do. So can you use that energy to do something negative? I'll give you a very simple example. Okay, multiple examples, but very that's a third gosh. There was one person who learned Reiki, and क्या किया उसने? Because there is a way you can pass Reiki. ठीक है, वो कैसे कर सकते हैं? You are taught. You can pass Reiki. You can channelize Reiki. You can channelize energy. You can use energy for good purposes to enhance your life, enhance your professional life, personal life, spiritual life. You can do that. So this person had a family who was staying at his home, and he had given that home on rent. और वो जो फैमिली है वो घर छोड़ नहीं रही थी। एंड पता नहीं उसके दिमाग में कहाँ से आया, इफ आई गिव रेकी टू दैट फैमिली एवरी डे विद एन इंटेंशन कि वो घर से निकल जाए, they will someday they will move out. And he started giving energy, passing reiki with this intention. And then after a month he came and said कि ना मेरा पैर हाथ सब सूज गया है, पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है। You are doing something wrong, कुछ तो गलत है यहाँ पे, which is not natural, which is not aligning with the purpose. Then he opened up कि मैं ये कोशिश कर रहा हूँ। First thing, reiki will never work this way. It will only take a turn wherein it will start teaching you, because Reiki is intelligent energy. You don't have to channelize it. It will channelize on its own. क्या होता है ना, it's very simple. Like coming back to the idea of healing, why healing is needed? Because, for example, if I have a heart problem, okay, now this is scientifically established. If I have a heart problem, my chakra near the heart, my energy, my aura near the heart becomes so weak that it is devoid of energy and it becomes diseased. The moment you start filling it with energy, it starts aligning with natural process of healing. Nowhere a Reiki practitioner will tell you stop medication, stop treatment, and only practice Reiki. If anyone in your life tells you, उस person की बात सुनना बंद कर दो आप. Reiki is a complementary technique to help medication. मतलब it's a very simple fact. What we always say is thousands of doctors have learned Reiki and they practice Reiki when they are actually sitting and counseling their patients. And it works marvelous for their patients. What you do is you invoke Reiki and have medicine. You don't invoke Reiki, practice and don't eat medicine. No, you don't do that. Anyone tells you, ignore it. You invoke Reiki, eat medication. What will happen is your energy system will complement and start catalyzing the process of healing inside, because it will form that environment, it will form that climate around you. Make simple आपको example देता हूँ. You're trying to do something, achieve something in your life, or your road is so bad, full of potholes. Will you ever reach your destination? You will, but how? पूरा बाल ऐसे ऐसे हो गया है, थक गए हैं, ऐसे करके फाइनली भाई पहुंच गए, है ना? We will reach that way to our destination. But now if I give a contract to someone to just smooth the road out, I will still reach the same destination, लेकिन मैं 1 घंटे का 15 minutes में पहुंच जाऊंगा, and I will be still the same energetic. I will not lose my energy, right? That is what Reiki does for you. So Reiki is not a isolated single solution for any of the problems. No, it enhances your current situation. It enhances your intention towards working towards the goals, towards moving there. It pushes you towards there. It creates that climate where you can fulfill, achieve your goals. It can be any goal. It can be a goal of your health. It can be a goal of your life. Anything. It can be anything in your life. No? But you learn to channelize it. So these are few, very few benefits of Reiki, very few aspects, dimensions of what Reiki is. I can keep on talking, but it will not make any sense unless and until we learn and experience Reiki. There is no side effect, there is no harm in learning Reiki. For sure, people say कि थोड़ा side effects भी होता है इसका. जैसे it's like water. You जितना आप पियोगे उतना ही आपको use होने वाला है. There is a kosh in us which keeps, and it is infinite. It keeps on taking. एक बहुत simple सी चीज़ है. We try to work. My teacher says this. मतलब we try for enlightenment. I want spiritual progress. I want this. I want that. I'll tell you one simple thing, and I want energy to do that. I want energy to work towards it. A very simple practice of becoming a simple and normal grihastha-ashrami, like a practice of running my family. बस उतना ही. It takes so much amount of energy, और वो इतना सारा एनर्जी उसमें खत्म हो जाता है हमारा कि बाकी सारी चीजें करने में. आपने कभी एक्सपीरियंस किया है कि I am trying to do something and there are hurdles coming from here, and it is like stopping me. कुछ नहीं हो पा रहा है, बस फ्रस्ट्रेट हो गए, डिप्रेशन में चले गए. अभी कुछ नहीं होगा, फिर और डिप्रेस, बस खत्म, अभी नहीं करना है. So that's where exactly Reiki eases your life. वो जो hurdles है ना, उसको आप साइड में करके, so that your way towards your goal, it can be any, it can be spiritual goal, कुछ भी हो सकता है. वो आगे जाना जो है, उसको ease out करना जो है, वो ease करने का path जो है वो शुरू कर देता है. Reiki is that. Reiki does that. As simple as that. I mean, I've tried to simplify whatever little I have experienced, but there is a lot more to Reiki. If you certainly learn it, there is bliss, there is light, there is happiness. Love, light, and happiness is what Reiki is all about. To just summarize what we are trying to understand. So that's all for today. That's all from my side. Anita ji, yeah, over to you. And I think we can take questions now. I feel there might be some doubts as well.
We can take questions. If you have any questions, you people can ask. You can raise your hand, so we will unmute you. Otherwise, yes. Ganesh, you can ask.
Yeah.
रेकीने हिलिंग होतं ते किती % मध्ये होतं असं काय सांगू शकतं का? हिलिंग आपण करायचं असेल पेशंटचं एखादं तर ते किती होऊ शकतं?
There is no straightforward answer to this question. Okay, see, I'll tell you why this. If you are passing Reiki to someone, first you don't pass unless and until you have practiced yourself for months at least. We say at least 21 days, minimum 21 days, consistent practice, then you can pass to someone. Now, if I say, if there are two patients, okay, this will answer your question. I'm just giving you a very simple example. If there are two patients और दोनों का हाथ दुख रहा है, okay, and same amount of pain, same amount of problem, same, no difference. Can I say that if one patient heals in 5 days, the other patient will also heal in 5 days? No. Why? One patient may take 5, another patient may take 10 days. Why? The question is because it is not the healer who is trying to heal. It is about the receiver who is open enough to receive that. And it is not as simple as that. There are multiple other things. ना? आपल्याकडे एक कर्माचा पण भाग असतो त्याच्यामध्ये. आपण जेव्हा हील करतो तेव्हा दोन पेशंटचे कर्म वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे असतात. तर ते आपण हे बघा, आपण हिलिंग जेव्हा करतो ना तेव्हा हिलिंग आपण त्याला फिजिकल लेवलवरती वाटत असेल करतो किंवा मेंटल लेवलवरती वाटत असेल करतो, पण आपण कुठेतरी त्याचं कर्म हील करत असतो. तर कशा प्रकारचं कर्म आहे ते हील करायला जी गोष्ट लागेल, इट इज ऍज सिम्पल ऍज सेइंग की दोन माणसं आहेत, त्यांना एनलाइटनमेंट हवी आहे, एकाला 5 दिवसात मिळालं, एकाला 2 जन्म गेले. 2 जन्म हील करायला नाही लागत. तो कोणा म्हणजे असं इज देअर अ सिंगल आन्सर टू दिस क्वेश्चन? सो देअर इज नो सिंगल आन्सर टू दिस क्वेश्चन. बट व्हॉट हॅपन्स, the healer understands how much amount of energy is needed to heal. Okay, that is for sure. Yes. And how much time should I keep on giving in a day? How many days should I keep on giving? Because Reiki is inherently intelligent. She will start conversing with you with time. She will start telling you where is it needed, how much is it needed, should you give or should you not give. Everything Reiki will start conversing with you. It is a very subtle way of conversation. मतलब ऐसे नहीं आवाज ऐकायला, आवाज वगैरे ऐकायला लागलं तर मग म्हणावं काहीतरी प्रॉब्लेम आहे. तसं नाही होत. It is a very subtle form of conversation which we have to, like, everyone gets through experience. Yeah.
Yes, Naresh, you can ask.
So do doctors interfere with anyone's karmas? And do they get affected by karmas? I'm referring to the question that is there in the chat.
Right.
Someone asked ki, is it not interference with the universe of karma? Partially, yes, it is. But my question to you is, if you have stomachache, will you say it is my karma and I will not do anything about it? Or will you go to a doctor and have medicine? No, let the karma act. Do this. Let the karma act. I will not do anything. Right? Yeah, exactly. So it is as same as that. So you come to a doctor.
Yes.
Our emphasis here is, rather than someone else healing you, Why not learn and heal yourself? No? There is an everyday need of healing. So it's more about learn and start healing yourself. एक healer आपको कितने दिन healing देगा? So there is a very one important challenges with Reiki. और ये ना I'll very openly say about this. What has happened universally is ना healers started feeling that they are gods. वो heal करने लग गए. People started feeling अरे आपके healing की वजह से I don't know what divine is happening, and then I'm feeling so good. Thank you so much. And then the one who was healed started seeing the healer as God. And with time, एक टेंडेंसी होती है ना, टाइम द हीलर्स आल्सो स्टार्टेड फीलिंग वी आर गॉड्स. अरे हाँ कुछ तो है ना हमारे में. ऐसा नहीं होता है. ओके, सो इट्स मोर लाइक लेट द patient themselves heal them. क्योंकि see what is healing? I need healing. I feel I am not diseased. ऐसा नहीं है. Every day I need healing. Why do I need healing? Because every day I इतना सारा चीज, especially in cities, every day I am disaligned with that divine energy, with that योग. वो योग निकल जाता है ना. हम practice करते हैं. क्या होता है? We are aligned. But there comes a time when we get disaligned, and again we have to do so much. क्या होता है फिर? Then we come go to the guru and say नहीं हो नहीं पा रहा है, इतना कल तक कितना अच्छा था, गए 10 दिन से अच्छा ही नहीं लग रहा है. And then the guru realigns you back. So this is something similar I am saying. So what happens is you keep on realigning. So everyone is diseased, right? See, ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको mental problem है तो आप diseased हो. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको कुछ stomach ache है तो आप diseased हो. Everyone needs healing. That is why I am saying it is healing through meditation. Because everyone needs meditation, right? What is meditation? Unless and until you are in that zero state of mind, you are diseased. It is as simple as that.
Naresh, you can ask.
If I want to give Reiki to any person for healing, is it necessary to tell that person and then? Yes.
Hello.
Okay. I'll just a minute. I'll just
Yes,
answer
yes.
this question.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
I'll just answer this question and sir, you can come in. Okay. So simple thing is, yes, unless and until you seek consent, you should not pass Reiki to someone. But there are conditions. I'll tell you why without seeking consent you should not pass. See, if you want to give Reiki, the person that you are trying to pass the Reiki should be recipient. Receiving mode में होना चाहिए. When he says yes, that person becomes receiving. एक. But there are conditions. अगर patient ICU में है और वो मास्क लगाया मुंह पे, तो क्या आप वो अंदर जाके उसको हिलाओगे, मास्क निकालोगे, मैं रेकी दूं? चलेगा आपको? वो हाँ बोलेगा, फिर वो you put that mask and start giving Reiki? No. There are alternatives. आप क्या कर सकते हो? You ask the relative, is it okay to give? But someone should give consent to that. Someone who is connected should give consent to that. Okay, you cannot just decide हाँ मुझे रेकी पास करनी है. हाँ, you can pass Reiki to the universe. वो आप कर सकते हो because universe itself is Reiki. It doesn't heal the universe. It automatically heals you because you become one with the universe. Okay, तो ये कर सकते हो. Now, हाँ, someone else had.
Yeah, Naresh wants to ask. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sir. When we are giving Reiki, the sign is important.
So there are 4 levels of Reiki, of which 3 levels are for self-practice, right? Level 1 is introductory, wherein it's more about physical level of healing. There is amount of mental healing. Once the physical part, अन्नमय कोश एक बार heal हो गया ना, तो मनोमय कोश तक जाना आसान हो जाता है. अनुमय कोश तक जा रहे हैं, लेकिन physically also we are so weak. It doesn't make any sense in any practice. So thing is. Sorry, what was your question? I'm sorry, I missed the line.
The sign is important before giving Reiki.
What is important before giving Reiki?
Before giving Reiki, we have to do some symbolic sign.
Sorry.
So that is how much role it plays in.
Yeah. So level 1, there are no symbols. Okay. Symbols begin with level 2, and there are symbols in level 3. Okay. You can heal yourself and other people without symbols, for sure.
Okay.
And if you ask me, is learning symbols really necessary to completely heal someone? No. ऐसा नहीं है. Symbols is more about you becoming attuning. See, symbols is very simple thing. To tell you क्या है पता है, symbols चाबी के जैसे काम करते हैं. It creates that state of mind. चाबी खोलो, दरवाजा ओपन करो और आओ बोलो. ये जो 3 सिंबल्स है ना, 3 सिंबल्स का मैं मीनिंग बता रहा हूँ. चाबी खोलो, दरवाजा ओपन करो और प्लीज आ जाओ. It is as simple as that. ठीक है?
Yeah.
देखिए.
But it is important. If I forgot the symbol, then can I give the Reiki?
How can you forget the symbol? Which means you are not practicing. And without you practicing, how can you give Reiki to someone?
In case if really some accident happen or something, in that case, there is a possibility.
No, whose accident? Your accident or someone else?
Someone else.
So that's what I'm saying. So you are passing or he is or she is taking Reiki. Okay, yeah. Understood. Okay. Now let's take an example that some person who learned Reiki met an accident. And now that person wants to do self-healing. Okay, I'm talking about self-healing, not someone else doing that.
Okay.
And she forgets or he forgets the symbol. No problem. I'll tell you why. Because Reiki is intelligent. Reiki is like a mother. She's feminine. कैसा है ना कि a mother doesn't need to be told by her child कि मेरे पेट में दर्द है, मुझे बुखार है. Mother knows कि मेरे बच्चे के साथ कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. And she starts flowing. She starts like anything. She starts flowing. I'll give you just recently my wife's example. There was a medical emergency. She has learned Reiki. Everyone in my family has learned Reiki. She couldn't practice because she was like she was little in a critical state. And I could feel, I was trying to give Reiki, but she was taking more energy than I could pass her. And I could feel it. Later on, I told her, I think you should keep your hand on me because there is so much amount of flow that I feel from you that I need it now. And I'm feeling, I think I'm getting from you. Did she practice? No, she could not. So how did that happen? Because Reiki is feminine. See, Reiki is not something is mechanical you can do. You can एक चाबी on कर दी, गाड़ी चालू हो गई. No, it's existing. It is intelligent. She knows. Reiki knows what you need, and that is what happens when you keep on practicing. Okay. Yeah. I hope that has answered your questions.
Yeah, somewhat.
Somewhat. That somewhat is very important.
Tanaji, you can ask. Hello.
हॅलो.
Yes.
हा सर, मला हे जाणून घ्यायचं होतं की डिस्टन्स हिलिंग कसं वर्क करतं आणि ते किती इफेक्टिव्ह असतं.
डिस्टन्स हिलिंग मी तुम्हाला 50% 60% ह्या क्वांटिटीने नाही सांगू शकत, कारण का आपण एनर्जी मेजर नाही करू शकत ना की किती एनर्जी आहे. पण मी एवढं सांगू शकतो की डिस्टन्स हिलिंग फर्स्ट कसं काम करतं तर त्याचे टेक्निक्स आहेत. तुम्ही रेकी शिकलात की तुम्हाला 2nd डिग्री पासून डिस्टन्स हिलिंग कशी करायची हे शिकवलं जातं. आणि डिस्टन्स हिलिंग काम करतं का? 100% काम करतं. कारण का आमच्याकडे रेग्युलरली मेसेजेस येतात की कोणीतरी US मध्ये आहे, कोणी UK मध्ये आहे आणि समथिंग हॅज हॅपन्ड अँड दे नीड हिलिंग अँड दे हॅव सेड इट इज व्हेरी एव्हिडंट की दे ऑटोमॅटिकली वेन ग्रुप रेकीने आम्ही जेव्हा त्यांना ग्रुप रेकी पास करण्याचा प्रयत्न करतो तेव्हा इट इज व्हेरी एव्हिडंट की समथिंग हॅज हॅपन्ड देअर, समथिंग हॅपन्ड, समथिंग पॉझिटिव्ह हॅपन्ड. आणि तो ऑरा चेंज झाला, त्या रूमचा ऑरा चेंज झाला. ICU मध्ये होते आणि तिकडे सडनली समथिंग हॅपन्ड आणि शी स्टार्टेड और ही स्टार्टेड फीलिंग व्हेरी रिलॅक्स्ड अँड ऑटोमॅटिकली वॉज रिस्पॉन्सिव्ह टू द मेडिकेशन. आतापर्यंत मेडिकेशनला रिस्पॉन्सेस देत नव्हते, आता मेडिकेशनला रिस्पॉन्स द्यायला लागलेले आहेत. तर हे सगळ्या गोष्टी डिस्टन्स हिलिंगने 100% होतात. 100%. मी का सांगतो तुम्हाला? सी इट्स व्हेरी सिम्पल. आपण सुरुवातीला बघितलं की रेकी काय सांगतो, मी माझ्या हाताच्या स्पर्शाने आणि वाणीच्या उच्चाराने रोग्याचं दुखणं बरं करू शकतो. म्हणजे तुम्ही बोलून सुद्धा रोग्याचं जेव्हा बरं करू शकता तेव्हा एक डिस्टन्सच आहे ना, तुम्ही टच नाही केलंय पण एक डिस्टन्स आहे ना तुमच्यामध्ये. तो फक्त डिस्टन्स एवढा आहे की तो डिस्टन्स मैलभर आहे. दॅट डज नॉट मेक्स डिफरन्स. काही फरक नाही पडत त्याच्यामध्ये. बट इट हॅपन्स फॉर शुअर 100%. मी तुम्हाला एक गोष्ट सांगतोय, मला पर्सनली रिसर्च लेवलवरती या गोष्टी करायच्या आहेत. रेकीवरती इंडियामध्ये खूप स्ट्रक्चर्ड रिसर्च झालेला आहे. प्रोफेसर विलियम ली रँड यांनी करुणा रेकीचा शोध लावलाय आणि ही स्टील अलाइव्ह. ही इज इन सिंगापूर. त्यांचं खूप मोठं सेंटर आहे सिंगापूरमध्ये तर तिथे त्यांनी करुणा रेकी ते शिकवतात. म्हणजे करुणा रेकी ज्यांनी शिकले किंवा ज्यांना माहिती आहे त्यांचा उगम हा विल्यम ली रँड यांच्या थ्रू झालेला आहे. आणि माझे जे टीचर आहेत त्यांनी विल्यम ली रँड हे त्यांचे टीचर, डायरेक्ट टीचर आहेत. तर त्या लिनिएजमध्ये तर त्यांनी जेव्हा ती रेकी म्हणजे करुणा रेकी जेव्हा त्यांनी ती प्रॅक्टिस केली त्यावेळेला, आणि त्याचे स्पेसिफिक करुणा रेकीचे तिथे सिम्बॉल्स आहेत. आणि दिस इज सेपरेट. म्हणजे आपण करुणा रेकी ह्याच्यामध्ये 3rd लेवलमध्ये करुणा रेकी ह्याच्यामध्ये ऍड करतो, विल्यम ली रँडची जी हे आहे. तर ते खूप छान रिसर्च करतात ह्याच्यावरती आणि त्यांचे रेग्युलर रिसर्चेस अवेलेबल असतात ह्याच्यामध्ये. तर कुठेतरी आपल्याला हे सुरू करायचंय, म्हणजे एक एव्हिडन्स जनरेट करण्यासाठी की रेकी खरंच कसं काम करतं. कारण का मी खूप लोकांकडून ऐकलंय की रेकी इज अ प्लॅसिबो. म्हणजे कसं आहे की तुम्ही औषध दिलं असं म्हणालात आणि पेशंटला वाटलं बरं होत आहे. तसं नाही आहे. इट इज नॉट प्लॅसिबो. बट अनफॉर्च्युनेटली देर इज नो एव्हिडन्स. इट इज ओनली एक्सपिरियन्शियल. दॅट इज द प्रॉब्लेम. बट ठीक आहे, ज्यांना एक्सपिरियन्स अनुभव आहे आज ते करतायत प्रॅक्टिस, बट एव्हिडन्स इज नीडेड ऑन दिस. ओके,
थँक्यू सर.
विच इज मोर इफेक्टिव्ह, टच और स्पीच? नाही, असं काही नाहीये. इज टच मोर इफेक्टिव्ह और स्पीच मोर इफेक्टिव्ह? इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन युअर प्रॅक्टिस. काय असतं माहितीये का, काउन्सिलर्स जे आहेत ना ते रेकी इन्व्होक करून काउन्सिलिंग करतात, तेव्हा त्यांना स्पीचने स्पीच बिकम्स इफेक्टिव्ह इन हिलिंग दॅट टाइम. ओके. आणि हाताचा प्रश्न कसा आहे की हातामध्ये तुमचे 5 आणि 1 6 चक्र असतात ना, पाम चक्र, फिंगर चक्र. सो इट इज, हे 2 पूर्णपणे वेगळे आहे. म्हणजे सी, इट इज लाईक सेइंग की हा ट्रेडिशन बरोबर आहे की तो ट्रेडिशन बरोबर आहे, विच इज मोर इफेक्टिव्ह. कोणत्या ट्रेडिशनने मला जास्त मिळेल? नाही, इट्स ऑल इक्वल. इट इज ओनली डिफरंट. फक्त पद्धती वेगळ्या वेगळ्या आहेत. तुम्ही बोलून हिलिंग करताय किंवा तुम्ही स्पर्शाने हिलिंग करताय, इट्स ऑल द सेम. खूप लास्ट स्टेजचे जे पेशंट्स आहेत त्यांना मी तुम्हाला एक रिसर्च कोट करतो इकडे. युके मध्ये मेडिकल रिसर्च सोसायटी, मेडिकल रिसर्च काउन्सिल युके, खूप फेमस ऑर्गनायझेशन आहे ही. त्यांनी हा रिसर्च केलेला होता. तर कॅन्सर केसेस, जे लास्ट स्टेज कॅन्सर केसेस आहेत, त्या कॅन्सर केसेसना त्यांनी पेलिएटिव्ह केअर नावाची एक गोष्ट असते. पेलिएटिव्ह केअर म्हणजे काय माहिती का, लास्ट स्टेज केअर. तुम्हाला माहिती आहे की आता दिस पेशंट इज नॉट गोइंग टू सर्व्हाइव्ह फॉर मोर लाईक हार्डली मे बी मंथ्स ऑर मे बी अ इयर. तर त्यांना पेलिएटिव्ह केअर वरती ठेवतात. इंडियामध्ये ही गोष्ट यायला लागली आहे. तर MRCने रिसर्च केला की पेलिएटिव्ह केअर मध्ये तुम्ही जर रेकी इंट्रोड्यूस केली, नर्सेसना जर रेकी शिकवली आणि त्या नर्सेसने जर ती रेकी दिली, और समवन कम्स अँड पास रेकी, तर त्यांची पासिंग इझी होते. सो कॅन यू से इट क्युअर्स कॅन्सर? नो, बट इट इजेस. सो इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द कंडिशन ऑफ द पर्सन. त्याप्रमाणे खूप म्हणून सांगतो कसं आहे की इट इज लाईक सेइंग इतकी वर्ष आम्ही मेडिकेशन करतोय पण पेशंट वाचलाच नाही, मग बंद करावं का औषधं? नाही करू शकत. सगळे केसेस वाचू शकतात का? नाही, नाही होऊ शकत. आय डोंट वॉन्ट टू गिव्ह एनी फॉल्स होप. असं नाही आहे पॉसिबल. ठीक आहे, इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन कर्म, कंडिशन ऑफ द पेशंट, सिच्युएशन, एव्हरीथिंग. बट इट इजेस फॉर शुअर. म्हणजे तुम्हाला तुमचं जर इफ इट इज इन लाईक मी म्हणालो ना पेलिएटिव्ह केअर मध्ये, तुमचं मुवमेंट खूप, तुमचं पासिंग जे ते खूप इज होऊन जातं. पेन खूप रिलीव्ह होतं. इट ऍक्ट्स लाईक एनेस्थेशिया. म्हणजे हे एव्हिडन्स आहे, तुम्ही रिसर्च शोधू शकता, पेपर्स आहेत. इट ऍक्ट्स लाईक एनेस्थेशिया. तुम्हाला तो पेन नम फिलिंग यायला लागते आणि इट स्टार्ट्स फिलिंग लाईक इट्स ओके नाव, आय कॅन बेअर द पेन नाव. हे या सगळ्या गोष्टी व्हायला लागतात. बट एव्हरीथिंग कॅन बी क्युरेबल? नो. अजून?
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much about this wonderful session. And as there are many people, and all we are in the field of yoga actually, but there are some people who have learned Reiki, and now after seeing this good response, there are questions and the queries are coming like how many levels are there, whether sir will teach us or not. So a very fortunate thing for me is sir stays in Thane only. Sir ठाण्यात राहतात. So we can arrange offline as well as little bit online sessions or a kind of workshop that we have already talked, right, sir? So we are planning to arrange such workshops in Thane, mainly offline. We will prefer, and rather sir has suggested that offline will work nicely. But otherwise, if there are people, those who want to attend this online, they are welcome. So we are planning this workshop most probably from the next month. So we will make it nicely, and I'll send it on all the groups, and then you people can get connected with that. Okay. And thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful explanation. Basically, I'm not having any knowledge of Reiki. I'm in the field of yoga from last many years, but about Reiki, I don't know why, but I was very much reluctant. But after listening from you, I became very much positive, and I'm the first student. I would like to enroll with you for learning the levels and starting with the self healing or practicing it for self. So I would like to do that, sir. And on behalf of the Koham and Yogaarthi team, I would thank you very much. And Anita, madam, if you want to add some words for Umakant, sir, please.
Thank you so much, sir. I cannot tell you, while you were in your session, I personally got a lot of messages that this was really a very good session, interactive also. And people are very pleased with the way you have put it in a simple manner, because as you said, there are so many misconceptions. So it was a true delight to hear about it in a simple manner, and looking forward for your workshop, sir. Please arrange it as fast as possible. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Dhanyavad.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much.
We would end the meet now. Thank you so much.
We have already talked with sir, and we are planning this workshop with Koham and with Yogaarthi. So we will do that most probably in the next month, or maybe in the month of June. We'll plan that. Okay, we'll end the session.